I want a boyfriend, and I want my boyfriend to have a boyfriend.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that it's pretty sure remembers how to do this. It's been a while. How are you, Carl?
I'm good. It's funny you say that because I was right up until the moment you said the thing that you usually say at the top of every episode. I was just like, ugh. I was like, I'm okay. Let's do it.
Let's cast this fucking pod.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. But then as soon as I heard that, I felt it. The old magic. It
Yep.
feels like it's been
That old black magic.
It feels like it's been an eternity since we did this.
It does. It does because we took a week off, and it's been almost 2 full weeks since we recorded an episode or something like that. It's been a long time because we've been fucking busy with stuff going on.
Yeah. I had some work travel. I had to go to corporate,
Yep.
As I have to do every so often. And then I had jury duty, which was an experience.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to talk about.
No.
So we just didn't want to.
No. Well, we had a lot of other spoons going out to other places, I guess. It's just we didn't.
Plus the end of the school year,
Yeah.
so summer break is just starting. We're getting into that routine. And,
Yep. The kids are transitioning over to not going to school, and that's been a lot too. Yeah.
So all of that is to say thank you so much, as always, for your understanding. We always appreciate that in these moments where we have to take a break. We've never caught even a single bit of shit from anybody on any platform. It's always been like, yeah, man, take the time. You guys understand that it's literally just us.
Yeah.
It's just the two of us.
Yep. It's just us, and this is our hobby. Sometimes you have to take a break because your life gets in the way of your hobby.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't built a gunpla in months.
No. And I haven't made a single bracelet or shiny object in weeks.
Yep.
We've had shit to do.
But we'll get back to it.
Yes, we will.
But this isn't How Busy Are They? The podcast.
Life, the podcast.
Pain Olympics.
It's just the most boring reality television, watching a standard middle American couple just live their fucking lives.
It's the most oddly successful podcast. It's an audio only podcast.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Of
but it's
course.
literally it's just us talking.
Yeah.
But we're just your we're your cranky millennial friends that you don't have, but
Yep.
we're kind of cool and funny. And so we just record ourselves. And then we put it out, and people just have us on in the back. It's the ultimate.
Yep.
We're the office of podcasts.
Oh my God. I would love to be the office of podcasts. Yes, please just put me on in the background. I'm sure there are people who have an office-like podcast, something they like to have on in the background all the time.
Yeah.
Although I feel like that's harder. Because the audio medium is made to catch your one sense, a specific attention of one sense. It's harder to ignore that than it is to ignore a TV show for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if this podcast right here, Cheap Smut, is that for somebody, but only you have to have headphones in.
Yeah.
Because it's dicks.
Yeah.
Right.
That should be our motto right there. Dicks.
It's just that gif of Donald Glover.
Dicks. God bless. I love Donald Glover.
So now that now that we're all caught up with everybody, let's get into it. So we are once again stumping for sinful signings,
and we will continue to.
Yeah, including the fact that since we last spoke to all of you, we have spoken with Kelly of the Blush podcast.
Yes, we have.
And we met her. She's a fellow Michigander, so that was really awesome. We're talked about some plans for doing stuff together at Sinful Signings, and for having her on an episode of our show, and for having you, Katie, on an episode of her show.
Yes, and I will. I'm very excited for that. I will. hopefully not put my foot in my mouth, but I'm terrified of being on other people's podcasts and fucking up.
Oh, and I would love to be invited. Invite me on your podcast.
Yeah.
I would love to be on your podcast. The less I know about it, the better.
Yeah. Just let him respond to things. See how good he is at responding to shit he has no idea about. He's been doing it for over 100 episodes. He's good at it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
The less I know, the better.
Yep.
And that's the podcast.
The less I know, the better. We could do that. We could just make that podcast. Just start coming on and telling Carl some weird shit. This is Carl. Tell him something you know. Yep. Tell me about it, the podcast.
I love it. All right. But tell me about this book featuring, or written by, I assume, another author who will be tabling at Sinful Signings this year.
Yes. So this week I read Their Goddess by Sabrina G. Just G, period. So mysterious. I love it. Their Goddess is the first in the enigmatic series and is currently the only book in that series. I decided to give it a shot because it's something I haven't leaned into in a while. Masked Men.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
It has. I don't think we did a Masked Men episode last season. I know we did one in season 1.
No, we did Dana Sweeney.
Oh, yes. Lust for Tomorrow by Dana Sweeney. And that he was a helmet. Yeah. He wore that really dope ass helmet and looked like Zero from Borderlands 2. Yep. But maybe not that it's skinny. But yeah, so this one is Masks, and it's contemporary, and it's not something that I would seek out normally. So I wanted to expand my palette a little bit and give this one a shot, and I had a delightful time. So let's get into it. Their Goddess by Sabrina G is available for $3.49 or through Kindle Unlimited, $15 for a print-on-demand paperback, or you can buy a copy from Sabrina at Sinful in July, I assume. Their Goddess is, again, the first in the enigmatic series, which will be a series of interconnected standalones, all featuring masked men. I assume I met one of those characters already in this book. I just don't know it yet. If the dark contemporary mask guy isn't your vibe, Sabrina has a huge catalog. So here are a few other things that you can get into from her. The Rhythm of Forbidden, which is a standalone contemporary featuring a good girl and a bad boy drummer.
Okay.
I am going to butcher this. Elementary Vestige series. It's VJE, an S with a thingy on it, TISE.
You nailed it.
It looks like it should be Justice. I don't know. And that is an urban fantasy romance. And then we have The Consortium Wars, which is a dark mafia romance series. And that looked dope, but those looked like chunky boys.
Yeah.
But I know some people who would hear dark mafia and just salivate.
You know, I find it crazy that we haven't done a musician book.
Have we not?
I really don't know. We have not done a musician book ever.
I feel like
I feel pretty confident in saying that. If
you might be right. I think the closest we got is Courageous Hearts, but they weren't a musician. They were a cabaret performer and singer.
Yeah.
But not a like a rock star.
Yeah.
Golly, yeah, because I used to read rock star romances almost exclusively.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were my first when I got back into romances. God, we're talking 15 plus years ago now. Audiobook romances back when I was working in that in the accounting department at that collection place. Mm-hmm. I read or listened to the Sinners on Tour series by Olivia Cunning, and they were so fucking good. And then there was a spin-off series, and that was super good. And I read so many rock star romances after that, and I haven't in years. Wow. Thanks for that. I'm gonna have to look for some rock star romances.
And here's another fun can of worms to uncover as we slowly get to the episode. I had no idea that you were consuming that level of smut at that point in our relationship. I don't think you'd really like divulge that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking to you about the amount of porn that was in my books. I wasn't hiding it. It just wasn't a thing that I talked about. Yeah, that series was the first like high heat series that I read. The first book in that series, oh God, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. My favorite book in the series is called Wicked Beat. That I will remember forever. As Wicked Beat by Olivia Cunning is one of my favorite books ever. But the first book in the series is about a woman who is she studies sex and she, I believe, is a sex therapist, but she is more of an academic, and she goes on tour with this rock band to study their groupies and groupie behavior.
Okay.
And in the process, she has just like this wild sexual awakening with their lead guitarist, Brian. Yeah.
And who I immediately imagine as that dude from School of Rock, Snake or whatever.
Oh God, no, that's got to be their vocalist Cedric. That's Snake. That's for sure Snake.
That guy was so fucking perfect.
He was so funny in that too, with that big chest tattoo and the hair. Oh man.
And I think he like fucking retired and became a lawyer or some shit. Like that was like the only role he ever played.
That's so good.
I'll verify that.
Anyway, if you are looking for some really good contemporary rock star romances written a while ago, but they will stand up, I guarantee. Anything by Olivia Cunning. Anything by Olivia Cunning. She also has a series of rock star erotic novellas that are just fucking wicked hot. And when I listened to those, I was like, oh no, this is too much for me. That was the beginning of. Now that would be tame in comparison to some of the shit I've told you about on this show.
Like by comparison on a curve, like, oh, this is something you could recommend to your mother. Like relatively on a curve. It's not something I would recommend to my mother, but it is something that I would say, okay, this is like it's okay. Her novels are like 3 to 4 Chili Peppers. Her erotica is definitely 4 Chili Peppers, but it's all people with normal dicks behaving in normal ways. With some toys and like maybe some kink. Like it's normal porn shit. It's not like, and then he had to cast a magic spell to rearrange her pussy because his dick was the size of a stovepipe. You know, it's not that level of insane. To back up, his Spider School of Rock was played by Lucas Babin.
God,
who did he was an American attorney, actor, and fashion model who has served as district attorney of Tyler County, Texas since 2019.
Oh, that's so cool for you, man.
As an actor, Babin was noted for playing Spider in School of Rock.
So that scene with him in it has one of my favorite moments for Joan.
Yes.
She has that tiny little moment where she like reaches out and almost touches his abs but doesn't. It's the funniest fucking thing. It's the best choice. It's so funny.
It's the most Joan Cusack thing.
It's so Joan. Oh God, she's so good in that too. Yeah. I love her. Anyway, should we talk about this book?
Yes.
We haven't digressed in so long.
I know.
We've had to get in extra apparently. So let's do the triple T's for, again, Their Goddess by Sabrina G. So for our triggers, we have past domestic violence and spousal abuse, stalking, abduction, threats made with a firearm, and automobile collision. For our tropes, this is an MMF menage, cis queer romance, gaming and streaming, masked men, baking, the boyfriends are boyfriends, and coincidence or fate.
Okay.
And for titillations, we have power exchange, dominant and submissive dynamics, 2 brats, 1 dom, penetrative oral, anal, and vaginal sex, menage, and double vaginal penetration.
All right. I got the at least 2 things, seal of approval.
Yep, at least 2 sex things, guaranteed. Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, let's.
So this week, we start with both of our MMCs. So their names are Ethan and Syrus. And the first chapter that we get is their meeting. Their relationship is fully established before they ever meet the FMC.
Okay.
So we have Ethan, who is 30-something. He's 6'3", tall and fit, Caucasian with brown eyes. He's a fairly serious and reserved kind of person, and he has been through a lot. We don't get his trauma dump until the very end, but he has been through some shit for sure. So he has responded to that by guarding everything really close to the vest. He also has a near perfect memory, which they bring up every now and again. It's just useful. It makes him very thoughtful. He remembers things about people. Our other MMC, his name is Syrus, aka Cy, and he's in mid-20s. He's shorter than Ethan, but he is not by any means a short person. He's probably 6 foot. He's also Caucasian, but he has blue eyes and I think dimples. He's also handsome and fit, but he's a leather jacket bad boy kind of handsome. He's got a really sweet puppy dog disposition, but in that I'm gonna chew on your shoes way, not in that I'm gonna lick your face way. Like, he's mischievous and scampery, but cute. So Ethan and Cy met online because they are both streamers. Specifically, they're both the kind of masked streamers who never speak. They only hold up tablets with what they want to say, or they talk in chat, but they never say anything. While they are streaming, Ethan wears a ghost mask and Syrus wears a Koenig mask. I put some visuals in here. These are both people from Call of Duty. They're also both masked people or masked figures who get a lot of love in the mask-loving community. Okay. So both of these guys gained popularity on their own channels, and then they eventually found each other, started collabing on stuff. They over time started collaborating to the point that they became friendly. They each kind of developed a little crush on each other, which is super cute, but particularly for Ethan, because Ethan doesn't open up at all. So having any kind of emotional connection with anyone is for him. And then one day they realized that they both live in Indianapolis.
Wow.
Of all places.
Naptown.
Yeah, right. And so they made plans to meet up. I put a note in here. So side note, in the book, each of our main characters has multiple names. They have their government name, they have their username, and they have their persona. So Ethan, when he's online, he has a username and everybody calls him Duke. And Cy, when he's streaming, whatever his username, everybody calls him Jack. So that got too fucking confusing for me. I'm not going to be bopping back and forth between all of those. We're just calling them by their names. Okay. But in the book, they have multiple names that they all go by. We meet them in chapter 1 in their coffee shop meet cute, and it's so adorable. So they meet at this local indie coffee place called Luna Cafe, and they chat and they flirt. There's no will they, won't they. They both want to, and they will.
We will. Eventually.
Yeah. That evening, they go live together on whatever platform they use, and they surprise all of their fans because they're supposed to be streaming separately, but Cy is running late. And then when he finally shows up, he jumps right into the frame. And oh my God, he's here. They're streaming together. They're in the same room. This is awesome. And then they talk with their fans for a couple of hours. They do a Q&A. It's a great time. Everybody's geeked. This is going to be really, really good for their streaming careers, etc. Once the live is over, they get all cleaned up. Eye black is a bitch. So they have to actually take their makeup off, clean up and get changed. And then Ethan cooks them dinner. And we get a pretty good picture of what their interpersonal dynamic is going to be like from now on. So Ethan is like a caregiver daddy with a big tender heart. He does all of the cooking and makes sure that Syrus eats. And Syrus is a brat and loves to push Ethan's buttons. At the end of the evening, Cy leaves and Ethan walks him out the door and closes the door behind him. And then he just puts his head on the back of the door and he's like, fuck, I should have kissed him. Shit. Oh man, you pussy, fuck. And then he looks out and realizes that Syrus's motorcycle is still out front. He hasn't left yet. So he opens the door to go after him, but Syrus is already running back up the driveway toward Ethan. And they just sort of crash right there in the threshold and they kiss. And Syrus is like, well, it took you long enough. And Ethan's like, it's been a long time. I'm nervous. Give me a break. Big baby. So it's a very sweet moment. They, from that point, basically never separate. We then flash forward 1 year later. They are very happily together. They live together. They stream together. They are in love. It is a wonderful thing. And now they have made a new friend online. They have another gaming friend who feels significant in the same way that they felt significant to each other when they first met. I don't know how they met. It's sort of one of those, like, you just got to end up in the right lobby and get lucky kind of things. But now this person, whose username is moongoddess89, they both are obsessed with her in this way that has kind of woven its way into their relationship. Okay. And they don't address it, but they both care for her very much. On page, we see Syrus and Moon Goddess 89, whom they just call Goddess for short, and it kind of makes her giggle, and they love that. We see them playing around online, and they're having a fabulous time, but then they're in a public server, and somebody realizes that she's a girl. Him and his crew start making misogynist comments, and so she kills them all and exits to the lobby. Syrus follows right after her, checks in with her, but she's like, no, I'm absolutely fine. I got to go to work anyway. She has never given a single piece of personal information about herself. She's very closed off, and they have no idea who she is or what's going on in her life. But he does tell her again, hey, if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm here for you. And she's like, yeah, thanks. But no, she's never going to. She hangs up because she's got to go to work. And Syrus, he has to go to work too, technically. So he is a photographer in his money-making job, and he has some editing that he needs to do. But he would prefer to go and do that editing at the local coffee shop, which is the place where he met Ethan, Luna Cafe. They now live a couple of blocks away from there. So he gets dressed, he gets his computer, and walks down to the coffee shop where
you get a plus 10% buff to all creative projects.
Exactly.
That's why everybody goes to coffee shops.
Everybody needs to go to the coffee shop. That's exactly it. So he's a regular there. He's friendly with the staff and the owner, Maggie. And while he's chatting with Maggie at the counter, he is introduced to the new girl. This is our FMC. Her name is Selena St. James. She just goes by Lena. She's somewhere in her 20s. She's got long black hair, blue-green eyes, and a kind of alt-goth style that's very similar to my own. She's always wearing oversized T-shirts and black jeans. Mm-hmm. She is somewhere between mid and plus-sized, and also Caucasian, and very, very shy. But she is obviously eager to be in the cafe, and she is happy to be working. So she gets right to work. Maggie introduces her to Sai. He's a regular here. This is the new girl. He flirts with her, and then she immediately blushes and skitters off. Sai thinks that she is super hot, but more intriguingly, she sounds an awful lot like Moon Goddess 89.
Because what would be the odds?
And he sits and he works, and occasionally she comes over to refill his coffee, and she uses a lot of similar idioms and phrases that Moon Goddess 89 uses, and he's pretty sure it's Goddess, but what are the fucking odds of that?
Glad he's asking the big questions.
Yeah. This woman has infiltrated their lives online, their brains at home, and then the cafe where they met in Indianapolis, of all the fucking places in the world, no fucking way. Yeah. Right?
A fine city.
Seriously.
But what are the odds?
What are the odds? Exactly. So he texts Ethan about it, and Ethan's like, there are plenty of rational explanations. She's probably just on your mind, and then there's a new girl here, and she said something, and oh, what are the fucking odds, man? And while Syrus isn't convinced of it, he's at least lets it rest, and he doesn't ask her anything about it. He leaves her alone. Instead, he eats the sandwich that Ethan called up to order for him because Syrus has forgotten to eat again, before he heads home and finishes his work and gets ready for his evening with his boyfriend. Selena, who, yes, is Moon Goddess 89, because the odds are 1-to-1 when the author is playing God.
Put that on a fucking t-shirt.
Seriously. So she finishes her day at the cafe. She jumps in and she helps out wherever she can. She shows her capabilities. She really wants to earn every dollar that she can while she's here, and she leaves feeling really good about herself. Even if the pay is like a little less than she needs to survive, she's still putting in the fucking work. Selena just moved to Indianapolis from Texas. She's running from someone, and she's very obviously afraid for her safety at all times. Like, she takes a lot of precautions to make sure that no one is following her and that she is never alone. She's always in crowded places or in her very safe building. Like, she struggles to walk out in public to make the walk to her building, but she gets there. Proud of you, babe. And so she lives in an extremely secure building with a doorman and an elevator that requires a key and a second key to get into your apartment.
It's 3-factor verification.
Yeah, she's got double bolted doors. Inside her apartment, there is nothing. There's nothing. She sleeps on a pallet on the floor that is made up of a sleeping bag and a couple of pillows. She's got 2 bags of clothing and essentials and her gaming setup. That's it. She spent everything she had on her first and last in deposit to get into this building because it's the most secure building in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Why Indianapolis? It was the farthest she could get with the cash she had on a bus ticket. Pure chance.
Yeah.
And now she's here and she's just trying to fucking survive, right? So she showers, she gets settled in, and she logs on to play with the guys while they're on their live. When she plays on camera, but she uses an avatar, a filter, that is just different enough from her own physical appearance that you would never know who she is.
Those things weird me out.
They weird me out too, but they are also a fantastic method of anonymity online.
Which I completely support. And wish everybody who wants one to have one.
Yeah.
I can't. They're weird to me.
Yeah. But I mean, we also talk about streaming and wearing masks. You've talked about wearing a mask because you don't want somebody to see your face.
That's true.
I completely get that. It's the uncanny valley thing of the weirdly moving avatar face.
Yeah.
That kind of gets me.
Yeah. I want to wear a mask even though I've put my face publicly on the internet.
I'm never going to discourage you from wearing a mask. I'm just never going to.
I mean,
because, it looks nice.
Look at his face.
At the end of their evening, once they're done streaming for the night, Syrus messages her to check in to let her know that he is always available if she needs to talk. But in this moment, he is in his persona. She has no idea that this is the man that she met this morning, obviously. She reminds him of her nothing personal rule. And while he knows that, he just wants her to know that he's there. He's always there for her. She is their girl. Him and Duke, Jack and Duke. She's their girl. And they can't stand the feeling of her being unhappy. And that has her doing a little belly flip. Her brain is freaking out.
It's a bit presumptive on their part.
Well, she's had this relationship online with them for months at this point.
Okay.
And while, again, it is completely impersonal because she won't share any personal information, they obviously have got something. There's some kind of chemistry going on between all of them. So
reasonable.
Declaring she is their girl is not unreasonable.
Okay. All right.
So she logs off and she decides that she's going to go to bed. Good night. So she curls up on her sleeping bag, and then right before she falls asleep, there is a bang on her door, and she goes full fight or flight. She goes to the kitchen. She grabs a knife before she goes to her door, and the person who knocked on her door has just got the wrong room. He was supposed to go across the hall, and he oh, sorry, calls over his shoulder. But she goes back to bed, has a panic attack, holding that knife until she falls asleep. So whatever happened to this woman, it is severe, and she is not okay.
Yeah.
That's what we need to know from that scene. The next day, Cy asks Ethan to go to Luna with him to meet the new girl because, come on, it's really freaky weird. I think it's her.
Close your eyes and just listen.
Please just come with me. And so they both go together. And when they get there, they are offered turnovers because Selena, when she is stressed, she bakes, and she woke up from a nightmare and came to the cafe and started baking turnovers in the industrial kitchen. So now she's got a bunch of baked goods. Over the course of this book, she will become their like in-house baker. Basically, this is how she manages her stress. I love when stress can be productive and delicious, you know?
I can get one or the other.
Right? So they eat the baked goods. Maggie is like so thrilled that she's handing them out to customers, and Lena is already back in the kitchen whipping up more. She's like, and Maggie is at the counter talking to the guys like, if this goes well, maybe we can actually be a cafe that serves our own baked goods again instead of just sandwiches with prepackaged stuff from other places. Like, this could really change Luna Cafe. Like, Lena's presence here is uplifting the community, and that's a really evident thing and really lovely to see. So the guys get their coffee, they get their turnovers, they meet Lena, they have a quick chat with her before Ethan has to like head out because he has to go to work. His day job, Ethan works as a lawyer, so he has to go into the office and do lawyerly shit.
I'm feeling like if I read this, I would feel like Ethan was my self-insert. Character most likely to be the Carl self-insert.
Oh God, yeah. Of all these people, it's definitely Ethan. You're the most likely to be Ethan. Character most likely to be Carl. So Ethan goes to head out, but before he goes, he stops in the bathroom. And when he leaves the bathroom, he physically runs into Lena. Like, oops, like the hallway is just a little too cramped. And she's like, oh sorry.
On accident.
On accident, yeah. And she's like, oh, sorry about that, big guy. And he has like a ratatouille moment, basically. Like that moment where the guy eats the ratatouille and then he goes back to his childhood. So she calls him big guy. That's the same thing that Goddess calls him online. She says it the exact same way. He can tell it's her. And he's like, no fucking way. No way. No way. Holy shit. But he also knows that she has this nothing personal policy. She doesn't want people to know anything about her. So he's not just going to come right out and say, it's me from the internet.
From the place where the strangers live.
You know, because that's not fucking terrifying. So instead he goes back out to Sai and he's like, you were fucking right, it's her, but we can't say anything. We can't say anything because obviously she is not okay.
Because we are two men.
Yeah.
And she is one woman.
Yeah. And we can't be like, it's us, the guys from the internet. We found you. Like, that's not cool.
We just happened to be in Indianapolis.
Right?
Which, again,
great town.
I've recently visited. Fine city. It's
just, again, the odds are 1-to-1 when Sabrina G is playing God. But otherwise, what are the fucking odds, man? But so instead of saying anything to her, because that's the wrong choice.
What we should have said was nothing, because shutting the fuck up is free.
Yeah. He goes back out to Sai and he like drags him out to the sidewalk to say, quote unquote, say goodbye. But he's like, you were right. It was fucking her. Holy shit. And they're both like, I don't know what to do. We're not going to tell her. That's the one thing we're not doing. Let's just be her friends, right? Let's just like hang out with her. Maybe, keep an eye on her, chill, just go back, do your editing, go back to work. I have to go. Like, Ethan has to go to the office, and then they have a sweet moment and they kiss outside of the cafe and Ethan leaves. But from inside, Lena is watching this and she thinks she's just seeing a sweet moment between a couple, and she's just like, oh, they're so hot. Lena, stop it. Like, she's inside her own head like, oh my God, stop, because they're kissing? Shit, no. Sai spends the day at the cafe editing photos, and at the end of her shift, Maggie asks Lena if she would please make double the turnovers for tomorrow because they were such a big hit. And Lena's like, yeah, I would love to. I just don't have all of the ingredients. Just I'll tell you what to get and I'll come in tomorrow. And Maggie's like, no, that's too complicated. Here's the store credit card. Go to the store. Buy what you need, bring it back here. It'll be here for you tomorrow. And Lena is like shook, first of all, because she's worked here for 2 days and they're already giving her the store credit card.
Right.
But they obviously trust her. And then she's like, I don't have a vehicle. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get everything back to the store from where I. So Sai steps up and he's like, I'll walk with you. I'll help you carry everything back. They go to the grocery store together. They have this cute domestic thing. He follows her through the store. She picks up everything that she needs to make a bunch of turnovers, a couple different kinds of fruits. I think she also gets the stuff to make bagels. The next scene is the next day she also makes bagels too.
Like with lye and everything or whatever?
I don't know if she made boiled bagels.
Oh, that's true. I guess you didn't have to boil them.
But she did make bagels. So he offers to do this, and she accepts, even though she is aware that like she should not be going to a second location with this man.
Don't go off site.
Probably. And this is the first of many times throughout this book where she decides to go someplace with one of these men against her better judgment.
Yeah.
But it's like every time in the back of her head, she's like, but there's something that just says trust these guys. And you're like, oh, God. Oh, God. Thank God this is a fantasy where the trust can be like can be concrete because holy shit. But yeah, so they do their grocery shopping. And then he helps her carry everything back to Luna. And then Ethan texts and he says he's making dinner and Lena is coming. And there's no questioning. When Ethan makes a declaration like that, you're just going. Like Daddy says we're going to dinner now. And so Sai invites her to come to dinner and she agrees. Again, she doesn't like totally have a choice in the matter. So they go to Ethan's and Sai's really lovely house that just so happens to be like a block and around the corner away from Lena's building.
How perfect.
Right?
How perfectly not creepy.
Seriously, it's a series of coincidences throughout the book that they keep going, what is happening over and over? And they label it fate because what else could it possibly be, right?
Crazy random happenstance.
Crazy random happenstance over and over and over again throughout the entire book. We love it. So they go back to their house. Ethan is cooking the exact same thing he made for Sai on the first night that they met. Oh, that's so fucking cute.
What, did they say what it was?
Chicken caprese.
Ooh.
Yeah. They eat a couple of really delicious sounding things in this book. There's a lot of food happening in this book, and I was like, oh, belly grumble the whole time. So they have a great meal and they chat, but as soon as Ethan asks any personal questions, Lena just shuts down. Again, she doesn't want anyone to know anything about her. She says that she has to be up early because she has to start baking super early, so she just needs to go home. And Ethan walks her back to her house. He walks her to her building. He meets her doorman. He admires the security of all of it, and then he's like, no, I'm walking you all the way to your front door. Like, I'm walking you to your front door until I know that you're safe. And she's like, okay, fine. But when they get to her front door, she tries to get in as fast as she can so that he can't see there's nothing inside. But he does see that.
Like he's living like a divorced dad.
Right. To him, that just serves as more proof that she's got something going on. Like something is happening with this woman, right? So he offers to give her both of their phone numbers. Don't give me your phone number. Mm-hmm. I'll give you my phone number. And if you need anything, you can call it, right?
From a number that is not yours.
Yeah, from as secure as you feel you need to be, this is how you contact me, right?
I will start answering private number calls for you just
in
case.
He gives her those numbers and then he heads back home where Sai is having a fucking breakdown. Oh, no. Like he is pacing and freaking out because so he's like, I want her, and that feels like a betrayal. that feels like a betrayal of his relationship with Ethan, right? Because they have had this really solid, loving, monogamous relationship for a year. And he has this desire for this woman that's so intense, and it feels so wrong to him to have this. He apologizes to Ethan, but Ethan is a very emotionally mature dom daddy kind of man.
Yeah.
And he is very sweet and he's very reassuring. He's like, sure, it is hard to hear that Sai has any kind of desire for someone who isn't him, but he also would prefer that Sai trusts him enough to be able to tell him that and not fear for their relationship. So this is a good thing, right? This is healthy communication. And then he says, now what if I were to tell you, like, if all the stars aligned and you had the opportunity to actually be with her, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Because, like, this is all very confusing for me too, but obviously, like, this is important. She's important to me too. There's something happening. Like, let's just not completely close the door. And Sai's like, I don't know if I fucking want that. I don't know if I want that. And Ethan's like, I don't either, but I'm just saying.
Just throwing it out there.
Just keep the doors open, because this is obviously, like, this is having a real effect on you, right? Mm-hmm. That means that this is important to you. Ethan's very, very good boyfriend. Very good boyfriend. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I would get there eventually. But
I think Ethan's probably also had a lot of time in his own head with that that we just didn't see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very mature reaction. So anyway, they finished that conversation with Ethan saying that he isn't worried. Like, he isn't worried about his relationship with Sai. What Sai feels is not a betrayal of Ethan. He is very secure in his love for Sai. And to prove it, we're going to fuck about it,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
So Ethan starts with some sensual touch. He starts jacking Sai off. He has him hold still, like forces him to be the center of attention, which Sai is not good at. When he has him kneeled to help him take his pants off, like he's having Sai undress him, Sai is a brat and licks his dick on the way back up. The bad boy, now you get to suck it. So Sai sucks Ethan off for a bit, and then Ethan pulls back before he can come, because this was supposed to be about Sai. God damn it. Whom he then promptly fucks into the wall. And once they're all finished, they curl up together and go to sleep. The next day, they both visit Lena at the cafe again, where, yes, she has added bagels to the menu, as well as a second flavor of turnover and sandwiches made with those bagels. So they order her amazing food and they sit down to both work at the cafe today, because Ethan is working from home.
And plus that 10% buff stacks.
Exactly.
If you're in a committed relationship.
So they work, and she works her butt off behind the counter. At the end of the lunch rush, she comes over to check on them and chat. And in this conversation, like, their very obvious devotion and love is so genuine that it kind of breaks her, and she starts crying. Mm-hmm. And then she runs off to the bathroom very quickly because, oh God, I just started crying because these men are too in love.
When's the sun gonna set?
So after she cleans herself up, she leaves the bathroom, and Ethan is there in the hallway to just check on her. And she tells him that she's fine. He tells her that when it is time for her to go home, they would like to walk her home. It is on their way, and they would feel better if she isn't walking alone. On the walk, they then invite her to dinner with them, but that's a little too much for her, and she says, no, thank you.
I don't want them to know my dietary needs.
No, she just feels like, okay, well, no, because they hung out with me yesterday, and then I went to their house for dinner, and then they walked me home, and then they came to my place and hung out with me all day, and then, like, she feels like she's taking too much of their time. Being the center of anyone's attention is a little hard for her.
That's fair.
So she sends them on their way after they do walk her up to her front door again. They come through, they meet her day doorman is a guy named George, and she has a very sweet sort of like avuncular kind of relationship
Mm-hmm.
with him. She asks after his kids and she brings them treats, and he introduces himself to the guys, and they kind of get his George seal of approval. It was all very sweet. And then they go up to her apartment, where once again she tries to get in without them really seeing that there ain't shit inside of it, and they're acting really weird and kind of like stiff and formal, and she can't figure out why. When they leave, she's like, oh god, did I do something to piss them off? She then realizes she hasn't heard from her online friends Jack and Duke in a couple of days either, and she's like, oh fuck, is something wrong there? So she messages them but doesn't hear back. So she tries to play a round of Call of Duty online, but gamer guys suck ass a lot of the time and they're pretty awful, so that doesn't distract her. And eventually she's like, fine, I wonder if they've gone to dinner yet. So she texts Ethan and she's like, have you guys gone to dinner yet? Is your invitation still open? Well, it turns out they decided to stay in instead, and Cy will be over in 5 minutes to pick you up and walk you over. So Cy comes, he picks her up, he takes her back to their apartment.
Did he walk on the outside of her the whole way there?
He probably did. I would hope that he walked on the outside of her. So then they go back to their house again, and they have another lovely domestic evening in. They eat big salads and chicken, and they like...
Love big salads
I
and
know,
chicken.
right? During the preparation before dinner, each of the guys kind of takes a private moment to give her support and let her know that, like, if she needs anything, that they are there to talk. She obviously is upset about something. She's been very sad. If she needs anything, they are there.
And then to talk a little shit about the other guy.
Oh no, that would be
Listen,
funny though, right?
You know, I'm here for you. He's not really here for you.
They're not in competition with each other.
I know.
That makes no sense.
It was just a dumb joke.
This is a Vichoos. A menage.
That's okay.
Yeah. So they eat together, and then after dinner, they go to the living room and they watch a film adaptation of Lady Chatterley's Lover. You thought I wouldn't notice, Sabrina, but I did. That was definitely Lady Chatterley's Lover. Very cute. Some point during the movie, which I'm guessing was kind of boring because it's a period piece, Lena falls asleep on Sai's shoulder, and they just leave her there. When the movie's over, it's kind of late, and they offer her their spare bedroom instead of walking home. And she's like, I have to get up so early because I got to make so many turnovers and bagels at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, but you're right around the corner.
But you're right around the corner, right? But so Ethan says, don't worry about it. I'll wake you up in plenty of time. I'll walk you to your apartment so that you can change.
I'll give you a piggyback ride.
I will. He would too.
I will bathe you.
That man would give her shoulders fucking everywhere. Riding on his shoulders like a small child. That's what we call it when we let our kids ride on our shoulders, giving them shoulders. Everywhere, forever, if she would let him. But uppies forever.
Forever uppies.
Uppies all the time. If he was strong enough to uppie both of them, he would, but he can't. Oh man, monster romance. Giant Dom can pick up both the brats and carry them places.
It writes itself.
Come on. Like misbehaving cats. He just picks them up.
That has big Cassoshire energy.
It does. Cass, are you listening?
Big Cassoshire.
Oh, I hope you are. Okay.
But don't be discouraged by me immediately tabbing Cass if you're listening and you're a writer.
Oh, yeah. Anybody, please. You're welcome to it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. There's plenty of room in the market.
Oh, please.
Trust me.
Oh, God. There's plenty of room in the community for your awesome story. So they put her to bed, then they go to their bedroom, and they discuss Lena a little bit. And like, okay, so she's definitely goddess, and they both definitely have feelings for her that they cannot deny. But they are also very aware that there is something serious going on with her right now.
Okay. She's clearly going through some shit.
Yeah.
We gotta take
and
this.
And they don't know anything about what that is, right? So they want to keep her in their lives and support and protect her, not scare her away. So they will not tell her who they are yet. but they will try and make her their girlfriend.
Oh boy.
That's the plan now. Operation Make Lena Their Girl. And Syrus gets a little too like psyched and excited about this plan. When Ethan tries to calm him down because it's late and she's sleeping, he brats back. He can't help himself.
The brat's back.
And so Ethan must then reassert his dominance. So we get another fantastic fuck about it scene. Ultimately what happens is Cy sucks Ethan's dick and then Ethan jacks Cy off. But it was a definite power exchange kind of blowjob.
Okay.
Then they go and they take a bath together and they kind of snuggle up in the tub and they have an intimate, emotional moment. It's very sweet. The next morning, Ethan wakes Lena up from a nightmare. She was having a nightmare at the time, but they don't really address it. He makes her tea. He walks her home, where he waits for her to get dressed. She plays off her complete lack of possessions in her home as a transition period because she just moved in.
Yeah, okay, which is fair and honest.
And he doesn't push, though he definitely knows better by now. She's sleeping on a sleeping bag on the floor in the most expensive apartment in town. Like there's something going on here, right? He drops her off at the cafe, and he suggests that she come back again for dinner that night. He says that Cy will come and pick her up after work and then he will walk her back over to their house. Actually, could you please promise to have one of us walk you to and from work from now on? Like it would just make me feel better if you weren't walking in the city alone. And she's like, yeah, that's very sweet of you. Yes, thank you very much. He basically at this point expresses a desire to keep her, not in a possessive kind of way, but like you make our house really happy. Like every time you're over, everything is great. So please come back, right? We want you in our lives. He then asks to hug her and she agrees. He then reminds her that Cy doesn't always remember to ask for permission to touch people. So please don't feel bad about telling him to let you go. Like he's a little overzealous sometimes. And she's like, okay, thank you very much. So there's a lovely conversation about boundaries that happen there. At the end of her shift, Cy is outside of the cafe on the sidewalk waiting for her when she leaves and they start walking. He tells her that Daddy Ethan has declared that she is going to sleep in their spare bedroom until she buys a bed, because he can't stand the thought of her sleeping on the floor anymore. And there is no use arguing because, again, Daddy Ethan makes a declaration. It gets done. And Syrus, is on board with this because he's got this whole master plan to make her fall in love with both of them anyway. So you might as well come back home, right? He says that right to her face. Like, my plan is to get you to fall in love with me. And then if I'm really lucky, I'll get you to fall in love with Ethan's boring ass too. That's the plan. Like, that's what I want. He says it to her face. And she's like, okay, like that was taken aback. Kind of don't know what to say. It's a very sweet scene, but she does not know how to react to that.
It's a little direct.
It is. It really is. They end up in a sort of 90-10 moment at the end of this very sweet and flirty conversation. And he asks if he can kiss her. But before she can answer, there's a loud bang across the street and they separate. They look up and there is a trash can rolling into the street and a man walking away from that side of the street. And Lena immediately recognizes the gait of this person and has a full panic attack. She starts hyperventilating and crying right there on the sidewalk. So Syrus calls Ethan. Ethan drops everything at work and drives home. Syrus gets Lena home. And then once they're all together, she finally calms down enough to take a breath and say, he found me, before collapsing into an absolute fit. They hold each other in like this big pile on the couch until she falls asleep. They put her to bed in the spare. Ethan leaves Syrus there, takes Lena's keys, goes to her apartment, gets all of her shit, makes a couple of phone calls to his boss. He calls to ask if he can have a meeting with one of their more organized clients. Should we call him that? The Indianapolis mob? Is there an Indianapolis mafia?
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I
So
kind of hope so.
he calls his boss to set up a meeting with the Indianapolis mob because he is fully prepared to put a hit on this guy if he has to.
Wow.
I know, right? And then he goes to Lena's building and he gathers all of hers. He gets everything except her gaming setup because he can't carry that all home. And he carries all the rest of her stuff back to the apartment. When she wakes up, they feed her. They sit her down and they're like, it's time for a serious conversation now. She tells them that she is currently in hiding from her abusive husband, which they suspected, but now it is confirmed, and that she is very freshly out of that relationship and is hiding right now. They then go to tell her, like, we have something to tell you as well. It's time to reveal our secret identities as the guys on the internet.
Now that you're at your most emotionally raw.
Yeah. They are going to tell her that they are Jack and Duke, her, streaming boyfriends. But before they can, she's like, I'm pretty sure I know what it is because I've seen all the rooms in this house now, and I've seen the room where you stream from. I recognize the room where you stream from. Is this this cannot be fucking real? What are the goddamn odds? Like, she was like, I thought it was you guys, but then I couldn't. Like, it just couldn't. Right? But no, it's real. And they have this very sweet, very intense and intimate reintroduction to each other, basically, where they're all like, it's me, Jack, it's me, Duke, and they hug and they hold each other, and it's lovely. Next major event that happens is that Ethan has to go away for work.
No, always love that.
But he isn't going to leave the two of them at home by themselves. Instead, what he has arranged is for her to have the weekend off. And then Cy can hang out with her at the cafe for the day. And tomorrow, they will drive him to the airport and then continue on to Cy's family's house in the country somewhere, and have a nice weekend away out of town where she will definitely for sure be safe. So that's exactly what they do. While they are waiting for Ethan to come home that evening after a fairly uneventful shift at the cafe, Cy and Lena have another near kiss, like 90-10 kind of moment.
Okay.
But right before he leans in to kiss her, he's like, God, she is running from her abusive husband right now, you piece of shit. Maybe you shouldn't be kissing her. And so instead he kisses her on the forehead.
He boops her on the nose.
Yeah. Ethan comes home a moment after that and kind of shocks them, and they separate.
He French kisses her on the forehead, though.
He licks her forehead, just straight up licks her forehead.
Because he's like, he's got the passion, but none of the aim.
That's the weirdest Ash Wednesday ritual I've ever heard.
Goodness. Well, how else do you think the ash sticks?
I don't know.
Saliva.
Holy spit.
God, we're going to hell.
Hell's not real, but if it were, we already were.
I hope that's the thing we get canceled for.
Yay!
The Chiefs got pissed off the Catholics because they implied that that's how the ash sticks to their forehead on Ash Wednesday.
The priest licks your forehead.
And just
It's like a lick and stick tattoo. The holy lick and stick.
How did we get here?
I don't even know anymore. Oh, yeah, that's right. He kissed her on the forehead, and you were like, yeah, he licked her forehead. And I was like, sure, why not? That's what the priests do. And then we got here.
This is my new favorite gag. Katie just completely misrepresenting things that priests do.
I could go on.
Oh, please don't.
Anyway. I love fucking with religion. Anyway, so Ethan comes home and Cy takes a moment in the bedroom with him to be like, I'm freaking out, man. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. This situation is so fucking fraught right now.
We are in some serious shit.
And Ethan is just like, take charge that he is. Just breathe. Take her out of town for the weekend. She's safe. Your family will love her. We will all talk about this together, the three of us, when we're back home. Okay? Okay. They have a lot of like weird interactions throughout the rest of their evening that kind of feel intimate but then fizzle out. I think Ethan almost kisses her but then doesn't.
He's just sneaking up to her at different points throughout the evening, almost kissing her, and then like she looks and he scurries away.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He's like popping up behind the sofa, coming out from behind the plant.
It's like Mario, except when you turn and look at the boo, they free. Except he's trying to kiss you.
She's in the bathroom and she's sitting on the toilet, and he pops up from
Oh
the
my
toilet
god!
tank.
What? No, absolutely not. Not while she's peeing. Give the girl some privacy. Okay, so anyway.
How did he get in there?
They end up like walking on weird eggshells all night, and it gives this whole like bizarre energy to their evening meal. And when they're cleaning up after dinner, this tension finally breaks when Lena is like, am I insane? What is going on?
Are we?
Yeah.
Or are we not?
She's like,
doing this.
I know I'm not a 10. Like, she's got a lot of shit because she was abused by a man for a long time. And so she feels really terrible about herself. She's like, I know I'm not the greatest looking, but you guys keep almost like, what the fuck is going on?
They're both just hovering.
Yes.
They're not kissing.
She's like, you almost kissed me. He almost kissed me. But then you get this weird look on your face and you pull away.
And it's a comically weird face.
And it's like
they
in
go
there.
cross-eyed.
And they're just like, before she can even finish her rant, I think Syrus kisses her first. Now that she's like, which one of you motherfuckers is going to kiss me? They finally are like, oh, good. Permission granted. And so Syrus kisses her, and then like Ethan just rips her off of him and kisses her. And okay.
She's just ragdolling
It's
between them.
established we are all into each other. So they've all had their first kiss. Thank God we fucking broke the tension. Jesus. Then there's like this whole what does this mean? What are we thing that happens? And they're like, we are a throuple now. We are fully invested. You're ours. We're yours. This is it. We're doing this. This is what they want. This is what will make them happy. And she's like, oh, okay. I don't know what last week I was running from my abusive husband. Now I've got 2 boyfriends. Like, holy shit. I want 2 boyfriends, and I want the boyfriends to be boyfriends. Like, Jesus.
I want a boyfriend, and I want my boyfriend to have a boyfriend.
Yeah, don't we all? Jesus. And I want them to go on little boyfriend dates, and we'll all go on dates where we're boyfriends and girlfriends.
Just like in that Blur song.
I'm misquoting a TikTok right now, but
fair.
So anyway, they have sex. Yes. Yeah. All right. But it's not like explosive or abruptly perfect sex. Lena is having a lot of emotions right now. And like there's a lot of hangups about her body and her sexuality and all of her trauma that she has been through with her husband. And that is all reflected in this scene. And more than once, the guys ask her, do you want to stop? Mm-hmm. We can stop. And she each time makes the choice, no, this is hard for me, but I want to do this. Like this needs to happen, and it's going to be hard, but we have to do it basically. And so she chooses to push through that. So I think they each take a turn fingering her, then Sai eats her out. And then eventually they ask if she wants to go further. And she's like, I don't really know how the mechanics of that would work. So they eventually, I think,
oh, don't worry.
Ethan comes up with a plan. So they decide on the sex sandwich.
Okay.
So Lena on the bottom, Sai in the middle, and then Ethan on top. So that's what they end up doing. So Sai fucks Lena, Ethan fucks Sai, and Lena kind of controls the whole thing by like holding onto Sai's hips and moving him. It's all very complicated. Yeah, exactly. But it goes swimmingly. And when they're finished, like Lena has a breakdown, and she cries, and they hold her, and they talk her through it. They get her cleaned up, and then they all go to sleep. The next morning, they wake up and they're all kind of domestic and cute, and they drive Ethan to the airport, and then they go to Syrus's family home in corn country, like middle of nowhere. corn country.
French Lick, Indiana.
Yeah. And this is big old farmhouse. Lena feels super welcome. All of Cy's family is here. His mom, his dad, his 5 siblings. All of them have S names. It's like Syrus, Scott, Shelby, Sylvia, Seamus,
Siobhan.
I can't remember. Anyway, so there's 6 of them. They all have partners and children. It's like going to one of my family parties or one of your family parties. There's just a shit ton of them, right? Yeah. And Lena feels super welcome. They have a great time. Ethan shows up. He got done with his work meetings early, and so he flew back into town, and so he's there to surprise everybody. They have this great weekend. Lena beats Cyrus's cornhole record. Like, it's a whole thing.
Take that,
right?
Cyrus.
It's great.
I'm a little surprised that it's spelled with an S.
Cyrus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always
me too.
Just see why.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway.
But the only person I know named Syrus is a guy who works at our weed shop.
Yeah.
Sweet dude. His name's Cy.
Saw him today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's nice. At the end of their weekend, Cyrus's mom pulls Lena aside and basically gives her like the mom grill moment. She makes sure that she is in this for the right reasons and that she cares about Cyrus and Ethan as much as the rest of the family care about Cyrus and Ethan. She gets the mom's seal of approval and gets sent on her way after a couple of really lovely like comments about what love is and how love works, and it was great. A few weeks later, Lena is starting to feel a little suffocated. She hasn't gone anywhere without Syrus and or Ethan in weeks, and now it's starting to feel a little more like the isolation before her abuse pattern happening all over again. So she tells Syrus that one day while Ethan's at work and they're at home. She has to go into the cafe to help train the new girl, and she is going by herself. They argue about it, and this argument leads to Syrus screaming something like, "I love you, damn it. I don't want anything to happen to you." And that's the first time that he has said, "I love you." Lena has been waiting for them to say it, but she has felt it the whole time. So now that he has said it, she says it right back. And they have some excellent sex about it. Yes, it was a very quick but really passionate and intimate scene between just the two of them. It was great. And then she gets ready and she heads out to the cafe on her own because Syrus recognizes that she does need a little bit of freedom. A few minutes later, though, Ethan gets home and he is not cool with the freedom and demands that they go out and they find her. He calls her and is like, "Go to the cafe and wait for us. We'll be there in a minute." But before,
Si's like, "Man, I fucked her all good and stuff. You're ruining it."
Yeah, you're bringing down the whole fucking vibe, man. But before Ethan can get off the phone with her, he hears her scream.
Oh.
And so they both like throw their shoes on and rush out the door, and they get to the corner by the cafe just in time to see Lena get pulled into a car. So she has been abducted. The one time she left without one of them, and her husband fucking took her. So she was right outside of the cafe. Her husband has a gun, grabbed her. She is not unarmed. She carries a knife on her at all times now, and she stabbed him in the leg. But he's drunk and he's not feeling pain the way he should be. So he puts the gun to her temple, pulls her into the car, and all she sees is the guys as she is being driven away. This car is being driven by her husband's brother. Her husband has a name. I'm not going to say. It doesn't matter. He's a fucking shitbag anyway. His brother is a mentally handicapped man that he has convinced to help him in aiding in kidnapping his own wife. Like, this is a terrible man. He's a terrible person. So in the back of the car, she is fighting. She's arguing. She's trying to get the driver to pull over to help her. The driver, who again is he suffered a TBI in his childhood or something, so he's not fully aware of the circumstances that he's now found himself in, is confused and scared, and she's asking for help, and her husband is threatening to shoot her and demanding that his brother drive faster, and then they are being rammed from behind by Ethan's car because Ethan and Syrus are chasing after them. So they get rammed a couple of times. Husband starts firing out of the back of the car, but that doesn't slow the guys down. Eventually, Lena remembers that she is still holding a knife, so she stabs her husband in the chest, but he still doesn't go down. They start fighting for the gun. The gun goes off, and it shoots the driver through the back of the seat, and he ends up crashing the car into a telephone pole. Lena goes flying through the gap into the front of the car and hits the windshield.
Just now remembering what Sinful Signing this is all about.
I know, right? It's a dark con.
I'm like, where's the weird monsters with the silly dicks?
I know, right? Sorry, nope, it's all guns and murder now. It's all darkness and sad things and fucked up sex. Oh. Hell yeah. Okay, he says. So Lena crawls out of the car. She is injured. She gets grabbed up by her husband again, who's fully insane, got a gun to her head, and he's like, if I can't have you, nobody can. He's gonna kill her at this point. And Ethan and Syrus are screaming. There's this whole big, like, cacophony moment, and then her husband kisses her on the cheek and says, goodbye, my love, or something ridiculous like that. And then Ethan screams, no, not again, not again. And he pulls a gun out and he shoots the guy.
Whoa!
I know, right? So husband is now dead.
Shit!
I know.
What
Shit was crazy. I know. So the cops are now on the scene.
Good. You know what? This time.
Yeah, good. Husband is dead. Driver is in critical condition.
Okay.
Lena gets taken to the hospital where she gets treatment for a concussion, bumps and bruises, and a broken arm. Ethan and Syrus are taken into custody and taken to the police station. After Lena is treated, she is also taken to the police station where she is questioned and held for a few hours until Ethan's boss, one of the partners at the law firm, shows up and gets everybody out of there because they're not pressing charges. What the fuck? What are you going to press charges about at this moment, right?
You're under arrest for getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
How dare you?
This will all be, there will be more in the legal process to this, but for now, it's time for them to go home, which is exactly what they do. So at home, it all finally like catches up with her and she collapses into a sobbing pile and the guys hold her and then till they all fall asleep. When they wake up, they take baths, they get cleaned up, they make some tea, and they all sit down and have a collective like trauma dump. Cy doesn't have any trauma. He came from a lovely home and a lovely upbringing, but everybody else has stuff. So Ethan, his father was an abusive alcoholic who killed his mother right in front of him when he was a teenager. That's why he screamed not again before he pulled the gun out. He had to save somebody this time. Okay. And Lena lost her parents in a car accident when she was 16. Eventually, she met the man who would become her husband and slowly fell into the isolating, abusive trap that was her marriage. Because abusers don't start as abusers. They reveal themselves to be abusers, which is a very important part of the conversation I feel like we sometimes forget, and we were reminded with Lena's story.
Yeah.
Once all of that is out on the table, they agree no more secrets. Everybody knows everything. They are going to be together. It's going to have to be honest. It's going to have to be for real. The next scene that we get, I don't know how much time has passed. The guys give Lena a gift, her very own mask, so she can stream along with them as Keegan, who is this one.
Okay.
The mask that's just the skeleton face on it. They have also rented a secluded cabin in the middle of nowhere for the weekend. So they'll batch a bunch of content for their new player and all that stuff. And they will indulge in the Call of Duty roleplay that they've always wanted to do, but they haven't gotten around to yet. Which is exactly what they do. So they go into the woods and they do this whole, it's not a sex thing. They do a whole fucking LARP.
I was going to say, it sounds like a LARP.
They go LARPing through the woods. They send her on a mission as a new recruit to infiltrate a location and collect some kind of intel and bring it back.
I don't know. That sounds like a sex thing.
And that intel turns out to be a ring box, and they ask her to marry them.
See, kind of
a sex thing.
Kind of a sex thing.
Yeah. But they never had sex with the masks on. Womp womp. The end. Oh, she says yes.
Oh, good.
The end. And then our epilogue.
Of course.
3 months later, we get to see their lovely, emotional, wonderful wedding. All of their family and friends are there to celebrate with them, and it's a fantastic time. And then they go back home. They're going to have a honeymoon, but the guys are taking her somewhere, a surprise. She doesn't know where it is. For the night, though, they are going to celebrate by consummating their marriage with double vaginal penetration.
Whoa.
Which is exactly what they do. They have also, so they have awesome sex about it. And then once they have all come down and I assume, I don't know, cleaned up, applied the appropriate ice packs,
balms and salves.
Yeah, they give her a gift in addition to every other fantastic fucking thing that she's gotten from these men. They bought her Luna coffee. They bought her the cafe. Maggie was planning on selling soon anyway because she was getting older, and they bought the cafe for her.
Oh, damn.
And now she is going to run it along with them. The end.
Oh.
And that was Their Goddess by Sabrina G.
Legitimately forgot about, like, how dark.
Yeah, because for a while it was just a kind of angsty but mostly sweet
Yeah.
contemporary. Yeah, no.
I was like,
then the guns came out.
I was like, and they're gamers.
Yeah.
The gamer nerds.
They're gamers, and he's kind of a daddy, and they're brats.
Yeah.
And, oh, there's a cafe. She made bagels.
Oh.
Oh no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm over here kind of going, could I handle 2 brats?
You can't even handle one brat.
No. But I was going there for a second, and then all of a sudden, death.
Death.
Guns, and
Kidnapping.
fuck.
Holy shit. Like, yeah. It was a lot. It was intense.
It was, but I
But,
gotta say, I was into it.
Hey. I set him up. You knock him down. All right. So are you asking me what I'm into?
Yeah.
All right. What am I into? Let's just go with Criminal Minds. I'm into Criminal Minds.
Yeah, this might be like the 3rd time.
I
No,
don't
I'm
think I've
kidding.
ever said it on here before, which is wild.
Yeah.
Because Criminal Minds is my ultimate comfort show, which is a wild thing to say because it is not comforting in the least.
No.
But it is the show that I watch when I want to watch something that I know. You know, I know everyone. I know what's coming. I know all the characters. I feel comfortable here. It's formulaic. The good guys are most likely going to win. There will be a couple of bad jokes. Criminal Minds. I love it.
It's like you love coffee, but you love it black.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's your comfort thing. You just happen to love your comfort thing very bitter and.
Yeah. I mean, it feels appropriate. We're going into dark romance, sinful signing seasons. I might as well watch 15 seasons of incredibly dark serial killer catchers.
Yes.
You know.
I did not go that direction.
No, you didn't.
No.
That's okay. What are you into?
I'm into something that I mentioned in a recent episode. I can't remember if it was the recent bonus episode or the episode we recorded 2 days after that, but then released it or whatever. Yeah, that weird time thing. I'm into a book called Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. I've not read a book this enjoyable in a long time, so much so that we're going to turn it into a bonus episode, an extra bonus episode. So coming up probably in August, maybe September, because we're very busy. But I want to tell people about this this book. It centers around the AI of a spaceship named Demeter and her companion AI, the medical AI Steward, Dr. Stu, and the fact that she is a notorious ghost ship because humans don't make it back on their trips from Earth to and from Earth to Alpha Centauri, Alpha Centauri A, Alpha Centauri B, all these weird far-flung. It's set in the 24th century. And next thing you know, there are vampires and there are werewolves, and there's a conspiracy involving the corporate owner of the ship. There's espionage. There's a mummy.
A mummy too?
There's Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
There's Cthulhu people, and it's all about the misfits in the world and sticking up for the ones you love and the people in your life. It's just full of misfits in mayhem and monsters who are not the monsters they appear to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so damn good, and I can't recommend it highly enough.
That sounds so cool.
I can't wait to tell you all about it.
It sounds like a Chuck Tingle book, but nobody gets pounded in the butt.
Yeah.
You know, vampires and Frankenstein's monster and Cthulhu's and nobody gets pounded in the butt though.
No one gets pounded in the butt.
Oh well.
I mean, not on page anyway. And there are some big time jumps.
Big time jumps.
Yeah, big time jumps. Speaking of time jumps, what are we going to be listening to you talk about next week?
Next week, I'm going to have to pick a new book because the book I started reading, I realized is not a sex book. So I don't know. Oops.
That's okay. It's a little misfire.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well,
it happens to everybody. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's okay.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
It's okay.
It's okay. We'll get that taken care of. But in the meantime, you can find us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads. All of the links are in our link tree, which is down below in the show notes. Assuming this was a visual medium, go look at your phone. Go look at your app. Show notes, link tree. Yep, you see it. There it is. Good job, you. If you would like to communicate with us via email, please do so, cheapsmutpod@gmail.com. As always, there is a link to this book in the show notes. There's also a link in the link tree. It's always the top link the week this episode hits the main feed. It is not an affiliate link. We don't get any money for it. We are just trying to help the authors out. If you would like to support us financially, thank you so much. You can do so at Patreon for as little as $1 a month, like these fine folks have. Jimmy Bones, Jenny Allen, Catherine Zofrea, Tara Tappan, Katie Shepard, Lindsay Rain, Eden Knox, Zach, Zoe Barrett, Emily Purley, Aaron Manak, Miss Chris, Raven, Natasha Bear, Desiree Rodriguez, I can't believe there's so many names, Local Mind Flayer Seattle number 42, Vincent Sultanfuss, Kitsune Inc., Cassie, Cassandra, Brian S., April D. Berry, Dana Goddard, Stephanie Hawkins, Gemma, Lady Squishy Buns, Tia S., Rob Gatika, Angela McNichols, Katie Hurd, Gwendolyn Harper, Seneca O., and Rebecca K. The music that you hear in this and every episode is called Storytime by me, Mated Fates.
Listener, remember, if there is a book in you, write it. And if there's fucking in it, I'll read it.
And then she'll come on this show and explain it to me for your entertainment.
Now it's very late, and we are both very tired. Goodbye.